All righty, well, welcome to this afternoon's seminar, this 2 p.m. seminar with Rich Lipton. He is the founder of Lipton CPA Associates, a boutique CPA firm started in 1990. The firm is full service, which provides the client with the benefit and convenience of us coordinating all of their tax and accounting needs for maximum savings. Prior to that, Rich worked for several regional accounting firms where he gained a broad range of experience. Upon starting his own firm, Rich utilized this experience to apply his unique skills in a personalized and unique manner. The firm has since grown to 7 people, all of whom take great pride in the success in which they help clients achieve. Rich has been awarded the Distinguished Certified in Financial Forensics, CFF, certificate from the AICPA. He has used these additional skills and resources to look behind the numbers, not just at the numbers. At the initial meeting, many clients will say to Rich, "Why didn't I meet you years ago?" He immediately digs into their business with tailored questions to determine the best approach to work with a client at their comfort level while focusing on their tax, business, and financial goals. One client even helped adopt the firm's motto: "We answer the questions you didn't know you needed to ask." The client testimonials on LiptonCPA.com say it best. This is a full service accounting firm, from tax planning, tax preparation, tax problem solving, business problem solving, positioning a company for bank financing, succession planning, part-time CFO services, payroll services, bookkeeping services, business valuation, forensics accounting, business problem solving, strategic business planning, consultation, and advisory services. And most importantly, listening to the client to determine the best combination of the above. This is a full CPA firm that will not only help you, but will give you direction, especially as we're dealing with these trying times. So now I leave with you CPA Rich Lipton.
Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for logging on to this webinar today. I'm sure you've been inundated with emails, webinars, news media, etc., about all these new tax laws and all the great things that everybody's expecting. Today, I just wanted to take a few minutes just to put things in perspective a little bit and to kind of prevent you from falling into some traps that are out there. The big thing is that everybody's heard about is that everything is postponed until July 15th. Well, that's true for certain things, but unfortunately not everything. So we just wanted to make you aware of what you need to do before that. One of the things is, especially for business owners, those that collect sales tax. Sales tax is always due on the 20th of the following month or the following quarter, depending upon the size of the company. That has not changed. So for any businesses out there that if you've collected any sales tax in January, February, or March, that is due today. There's no extension till July 15th. The reason for that is the government says this isn't tax money. This is a withholding that you're holding for us. You took it out of your customers and now you've got to send it to us. It's not your money. You're just doing this as an agent. So for that reason, there's been no delay on it. And if you send it in late, the penalties are pretty stiff. And right now, there's no provision on that late. So for any business owners, if you haven't sent in your sales tax yet for the 20th, you've got a couple more hours to get that one in. So we just wanted to make sure of that. The other one is May 1st is the due date in New Jersey for real estate taxes. Now, if you have a mortgage, we're assuming that your mortgage company will be paying that in for you out of your escrow account. But if you do not have a mortgage and you're paying them in yourself, make sure that as of May 1st, you do get those real estate taxes paid in. Again, as of now, the towns have not made any postponement of how long they're going to give to pay these real estate taxes in. Again, there's going to be, the towns need money, and anything going in late, they will probably hit you with a late payment on it. Of course, since we started this webinar a couple minutes ago, that could have changed. So I do have to mention that to you. Everything we're doing here is fluid. These laws are changing by the hour. We're constantly getting updates in, and these things are constantly changed with it. So, but as of now, this is what you have to be aware of. The next deadline, this is all for businesses, is the April 30th deadline. April 30th is a big deadline for payroll taxes. For you business owners, you know that you're withholding payroll taxes, Social Security tax, federal income tax, Medicare tax, as well as all the various state taxes from your employee's payroll. That has to be sent in to the government by April 30th. For all these amounts that you withheld, this works just like we said with the sales tax and the other taxes withheld. You are the agent for it. That must be paid in by April 30th. The only exception to that is portion of the Social Security tax. Everybody knows if you're an employee, you have a certain amount of Social Security tax coming out of your pay. Social Security and Medicare combined is 6.2%. Your employer has to match that. So they're sending in 12.4% of that. There is a little reprieve for the companies that the company portion, again, not the withholding portion, because that's your money, but the company portion of 6.2%, they do not have to send that in by April 30th. They can wait on that. As a matter of fact, the due date, that is, they can take half of it and pay that in December 31st of 2021, and the other half on December 30th, not 31st, it's not a typo, of 2022. You got to be real careful to remember these dates, because we're talking a year and 3/4 and 2 3/4 years away. By that point in time, it's very easy to forget how much money you owed. And this 6.2% of payroll can really add up each week. It's normal for businesses who are in financial problems to try to use that for other needs of their business, which is kind of the purpose of why it was set up. But as it builds, we urge our clients to really keep that in a separate ledger account so you know how much you're going to owe come December 31st of 21 and December 30th of 22. Because if you can't pay then again, you're going to fall into that trap of the penalties. So what we're trying to do here again is take advantage of what the government is giving us, but not fall into trap and have to pay back even more with interest and penalties, which if you've ever been there, you know they're pretty steep. So this is one of the biggest areas, that can help you or can hurt you. One of the other things that affects just about everybody is on this delay of July 15th. This, again, on the income tax side, is just for your April 15th taxes. Anything that's due April 15th, you can postpone till July 15th. These are on your income taxes, not like the sales tax we talked about before, or the withholding tax, or any of the other taxes we talked about before. Some people also have to pay quarterly estimates in addition to the withholding. If you've paid them, you know what I'm talking about. If not, you don't have to worry about it. The first quarterly estimate is due April 15th normally. Being an April 15th estimate, you can push that off and also pay that July 15th. So that gives you another 3 months on that also. The careful part is, which I really like to watch, is the second quarterly estimate has always been due on June 15th. Well, the law says that they're postponing the April 15th estimates for 3 months till July. They do not mention the June 15th tax payments. So since they don't mention it, that second installment of June 15th is still due on June 15th. So it's kind of weird because your first installment is due in July and your second one is due in June. And if you get that mixed up, in a year from now, after you file these are for 2021, when you file this 2021 tax returns, you're then going, 2020 and 2021, you're then going to be hit with that penalty then. So you've got to be very careful with these delays. We're urging everybody for each of these things, don't just sit back and say, I don't have to worry about it, because it will come back, to haunt people later on. The next part is why to file before July 15th. Everything says to file later. Well, besides the things I talked about with those risks that could happen, one is if you may be getting a refund. So for that thing alone, the IRS electronic filing system is open. If you can file electronically and get it in, you might as well get your refund sooner and get the money in your hands sooner than later. The other part of it is, even with paying on July 15th, you can still file the return now. We can electronically file your return as soon as it's done and then pay the tax on July 15th, assuming you're not getting a refund. And the reason we say to do that is for a reduced chance of identity theft. Identity theft is rampant. It's getting more so every year, and especially right now with people sitting home throughout the world, we're getting more and more identity theft with tax returns. Now, what is identity theft on a tax return, and why would that affect somebody having to file early? Well, people with robotic computer systems, mostly coming from foreign countries, can duplicate all of that confidential information you have. Your date of birth, your social security number, your driver's license, all that. I'm not going to tell you how they do it, only because I don't want to spread it around how they do it, but it can be done. And a lot of this is coming from foreign countries. And what they do is they will log in to the US tax system, into the IRS, and file a fictitious return under somebody's name with all their information. Obviously, they put fictitious numbers in there and get large refunds from it. These refunds will go to a fictitious bank account that they've set up without you even knowing about it. By the time you wait to July to file your return, the money's out, it's gone. And now we go to file your tax return and we find out that several months ago, it was already filed by somebody. At that point in time, there's a whole process of identity theft that you have to go through to clear everything out, find out who it was, which goes to the FBI, and other federal authorities to clear that out. Plus, everybody has your information that confirms it. So if we can file your return at least and block it out that you filed it yourself, that can prevent you from that. So that's one of the big areas that we want to protect you with. And finally, this is only a start of what the tax effects are. We've seen a lot of stimulus payments. We've seen a lot of stimulus incentives. There's more coming. We have another webinar following this on one. And you've got to position yourself correctly to get to these tax saving techniques. And we always advise somebody, it's never too early to start tax planning. And clients that are already starting to do tax planning for 2020. The base for tax planning is always the prior year return. So by getting that 2019 tax return done, we can see what position you're in so we can start planning what you want to do for 2020. There's a ton of new things coming out with delays on what you can delay paying tax on, what you can accelerate in expenses. That's going to be on a separate webinar. But the purpose of it is, if you get the thing and just don't sit back, use this time you have now to get it, we can look at your 2019 return and then start planning it for 2020. So that's really the end of what we have here. We just wanted to give a brief overview on it, and I can open it up for any questions.
Questions right now. Also, we're getting people that are coming on. I went ahead and put it on our Facebook page, and people are starting to connect. And one of the questions, Rich, that people are asking is, can you explain again the 615 tax that is still due and the 715 tax return?
Yes. The 615 tax is a quarterly estimate. Some people, depending upon your tax situation, and I can answer this privately if anybody has, some people, if your income is all salary based, you're going to have the withholding tax. And at the end of the year, you'll file a tax return. Hopefully you're going to get a refund. If not, you're going to pay. But if you have income coming, a lot of stocks, bonds, interest, dividends, or even a self-employed business, you don't have withholding taxes on that. So you have to pay the money into the government on your own. And that gets paid in instead of with every week or every other week's paycheck. Since you don't have that, you have to send a payment into the government every quarter. The quarters are always April, June, September, and then the last quarter is January 15th of the following year, right after it, that you can pay in. So with this act that the April 15th payments were postponed to July, that first payment due April 15th was postponed. The second payment, of June 15th, in the current stimulus package, there's no provision to postpone anything that's due after April 15th. So since this is due in June 15th, it's still due June 15th as of now. It might change tomorrow, but as of now, that's still due then. So I know this is confusing. The simplest way to really remember this is just that if it was due up until April 15th, that gets postponed, except for the items I talked to you about. If it's due after April 15th, it's still due when it would normally be due.
Okay, I have a question here from a guy on Facebook. John from Facebook, he's asking, you said something about the sales tax still being due, but their company has been closed and they've really haven't been running for a couple of months since the government ordered them to shut down. Will they still face penalties if they don't send the sales tax today?
If there's any sales tax collected in January, February, and March that they haven't, as of right now, they can still have a penalty. New Jersey's sales tax is all, even if the company is closed down, New Jersey requires all sales tax to be submitted electronically. So if the building and the office or storefront is closed down, as of now, the state is not accepting that as a reason. They're saying that you collected the money, you're supposed to hold that for us, and you're supposed to send it in. They don't want you to use that for other purposes. They want you to look at that as a trust fund. Even if you say the company, for whatever reason, was closed down the entire time and doesn't owe anything with sales tax, the best thing we can advise is just go online and file a zero return and say there was nothing due. So at least you file it on time.
Okay, let me look here. I have another question here. Diane is asking, we know that the federal government has extended to July 15th. Is that the same for the state of New Jersey?
Yes, New Jersey just extended it to July 15th for the income tax.
For the income tax, okay. All right.
They just did that last week.
Those seems to be the only questions that have come from Facebook. If there's any other questions, you can put it on chat, or if those that are on Facebook with us on Facebook Live, if you have any questions, post the questions and I will field those to Rich Lipton, our CPA, that is helping us today understand this whole COVID-19 changes that are taking place in our country.
Thank you, everybody. If there's any other questions, you can just email them to me, and hopefully we can help you out, and just stay safe.
Can you put on your screen the information how to contact you? The people on Facebook would like to, if they want to make contact with you, can you put the page with your information?
It should be up there now.
Okay, yes it is. All right, so they can see that on the Facebook page also. Well, yes. Rich, I want to thank you. This is vital information, especially for those that are trying to understand the taxes during these hard times. We put you on Facebook Live, and we want to thank those that have joined and connected with us today. We will also post this live on our YouTube channel, and we will post it on our social media. And what we've recorded on Facebook, we will also share that with our people so that they can make direct contact with Rich, any information that you need. This is a specialized accounting firm. They can help you with those tax questions. Well, I want to thank those that have joined us, and let me see if there's any questions on the chat. Very nice job, Rich, from Wendy Long. Well, we thank you, Rich, and you know what? We will have this available shortly, and we will send it to those that have participated today. Thank you so much for being a part of our live Zoom.